Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. In the market for a new boat? Want to be taking your family and friends out on the water next spring and summer? Then talk to Joe Special and the team at Madisonville Marine right now. Supply chains are backed up. Order your boat now if you want it for next spring. There's no better place to buy a boat because even when supply chains are backed up, Madisonville Marine carries more brands, more makes, models of boats than anybody else in the state. So what you're looking at is a huge selection. So you can still get the boat you want, just may take a little longer, which means get your order in now for next spring and summer. Madisonville Marine, madmarine.com. Okay, rapid fire, and this is going to be rapid. So I'm going to get you out of the way, Chuck. We'll see if I can get you to answer a question today. Let's go to the full screen here. What you see are the main arrivals and departures via the transfer portal. Now, the departure list could go on and on and on and on because there were a lot more.
Right.
These are just some of the names that people would know. Then you had some guys on the arrival list that didn't really live up. You had others like Hendon Hooker who were godsend. So my question for you, Chuck, I've heard people saying, well, we actually did better in the transfer portal than we did poorly. We were plus in the transfer portal. What's your take? Did Tennessee win or lose the transfer portal in 2021?
I'll tell you what, John, I think it's closer than what you think. And when you look at it, your team MVP, Hendon Hooker's on there. Wasn't Cade Mays a transfer?
Well, no, we're talking about this offseason.
Okay, but when you look on it, I think obviously you took a huge hit in depth with who left. But in terms of the starters, I think you hit enough to where you could say you did better than what it looked like, for sure, especially with Chase McGrath down there on the bottom and how he helped out on kicking. So I think you did better than what people think.
Did you win or lose?
I think you won. In terms of impactful players, I think you won.
You got some good guys. I don't think you won the transfer portal.
Well, I think Hooker sets it over
that's
the
why
top.
I asked you the question.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
I want to give you an opportunity to be wrong. All right, Josh, here's your chance to be wrong. UT construction on Neyland Stadium will drop capacity below 100,000. UT tried to get fans over there yesterday by advertising that it's your last chance to get us over 100, and they got half that. Some have complained, though, about going under 100,000. Here's my question. Based on UT's what they've typically drawn the last 5, 6, or 7 years, if I told you that you could make more money by adding club seats and chair backs and everything, where would you set capacity? Where does capacity at Neyland Stadium really need to be?
I would say probably closer to 90, 95. I mean, I don't know exactly how the numbers work out, but definitely below where it is. What's the point of having 102,000-ish seats if a lot of them are going to be empty? Why do you need those empty seats?
Exactly.
So, yeah, make it a better experience for the fans that are going. It's more realistic that you fill it up when it gets lower, just a better experience for everybody, because realistically, even if Tennessee starts to have more success, you're going to have a lot of empty seats for games like yesterday.
Agreed. I think 90 to 95 is where it was before that last big round of expansion. I think is probably the right spot, and you can make it nicer for people who are in there.
You want a demand for tickets. That is not the case now.
No, it is not. Let's see. Bob. Some fans continue to say Josh Heupel won't impress them until he starts beating Alabama and Georgia. Those teams are 23-1 this year. They're 67-7 over the last 3 years. That's a 90% clip, so no one's beating Alabama and Georgia right now. But should beating Alabama and Georgia really be the pass-fail test for Heupel at this point?
No, not at this point. Maybe in 5 years, but right now, no. And I mean, you're going to have to put together probably 3 good recruiting classes to cut the talent gap alone. Forget about coaching, just the talent gap. So no, it is not what you should be judging Heupel by right now.
I think it's stunning that people are still saying, well, I'll buy in when he does this. It's like, well, then you wouldn't buy in on anybody in America because nobody's consistently
Correct.
So if you go 10-2, they're not buying in.
Correct. That's what the claim is. Jimmy, Tyon Evans hit the transfer portal this week. Then came word wasn't going to class. It might have been a fit problem in the locker room. Is that accurate, or is that the typical post-transfer smear that you often hear about guys? Because that's the way it goes. Somebody leaves, it's like, well, we didn't want him anyway because of A, B, C, and D. You never heard that when he was here. I'll ask you, is this typical smear or some of this real?
It's typical, but it is real. It's accurate too. I had heard that he had been missing classes. I'd already had missed some practices. This occurred after the Kentucky game when he was injured. I was told that he likely would not be academically eligible for the bowl game, and I was told that he wasn't the greatest fit in the locker room. You add all that stuff up, I think instead of being dismissed, I think this is where the transfer portal comes in. You enter that, and we're good to go, and you leave, and you're out of here.
We won't say anything bad, and you don't say anything bad about us.
And I wonder where he's going to go, because I'm not sure if he'd be academically eligible unless he goes pro.
Unless he just goes pro. All right, very good, guys. Thanks to all of you, including Chuck. Vandy's Hail Mary.
Oh.
I said the last 3 weeks I wasn't going to finish with a perfect record, and it would be some bizarro David Tyree, ruined my perfect season, and it was. It was a Vanderbilt Hail Mary. But we'll take a look at the final standings, who won our picks contest, who still has cash at the end, and also, speaking of cash, has Josh Heupel earned an extension? Come on back on the Sports Source.